Hello everybody, Hellcrex here, and welcome to another Mercenary Thoughts from the Inner Sphere, episode 303. Enfield 303, that is. Alright, so, we have the Shootist 70-ton mech. It's a 460. Has ferrofibrous armor. Yep. No XL engines, yay. It has 13 double heat sinks. It has 215 points of armor, which is, 12 tons? So it is like 2 points short or something like that. I think 217 is maxed out. So, yeah, it's got max armor. And no XL, so, hey, this thing can be a kind of a beast. Yet, the weapon systems on board are... We have an AC-20 in the left torso, which is interesting because the picture shows it in the right torso. But, hey, you can't always get everything right, I guess. It has 2 tons of ammunition in the right torso with case in the right torso. Then it has a ER large laser in the right arm and a medium pulse laser in the left arm. Medium pulse laser in the center torso, and a small laser in the head. Alright. So, this is kind of an interesting mech. This is, if it had jump jets, I'd say it was primarily designed as a street fighter. But it doesn't have any jump jets at all. So, with that, yeah, you basically, it's one of those mechs you got to get in close to be able to use that autocannon. And the way I look at this thing, it's closer to being in line with like a hunchback. However you play a hunchback, this will be played very similar. So got one interesting thing is that you got an ER large laser, so you do have some range, so you can do some damage before you get into cannon range with that big pumpkin seed thrower. So yeah, it's not bad. It can take a few hits on the way. It kind of fights similar to a Thunderbolt. It reminds me of a Thunderbolt in some ways. So you got to get in, a lot of times the weapon system, you got to get in close. You got the armor to take care of it. Getting there you go. So my experience pretty much is kind of limited. I've seen it on the battlefield, but, and seen it used with the autocannon version, and it's kind of gets ignored. It's like if you're playing a large game where individuals don't see it or know what it does, they just kind of look at it and it's like, oh, it fired a large laser at me. Oh, okay. They kind of ignore it. It's like 8-point blocks here and there, and all of a sudden it gets into range, and all of a sudden the autocannon opens up and hits for 20. They're like, whoa, what the heck is that? And like, that's called a Shootist. So it's kind of a stealthy damage output kind of mech until it gets in close, and then you go, whoa, okay. So there is that. So it's now if you're playing a smaller game, they're going to look at it and go, oh, okay. They may try to focus it as it's closing, but if they're focusing all their damage on something like the Shootist, what are they ignoring that's maybe doing more damage to him than the Shootist, with that just the large laser? So it's kind of interesting, but when you get this thing in close, yeah, it's going to be taking chunks of armor off somebody really quick, opening up holes here and there, which is, primarily what it's designed for, is get in close, knife fighting range, and then tear it up. Now, there's not very many variants of this mech on the battlefield, so that's the one thing going for it. So in some ways, all right, we got the primary version is coming in. What is it? 1,500 battle value for the primary, which isn't bad. Now the interesting thing is it has 13 double heat sinks on board, which means it can dissipate 26. If you run, that drops it to 24. You fire the ER large, that drops you to 12. And then if you fire the autocan, that leaves you 5 left. And then if you fire, getting really close and you fire the medium pulse lasers and the small laser, if you're even that close, you're going to heat up quickly. But for the vast majority of the time, you're going to be running cool. Now, if you get in close enough where, all right, I'll just fire the autocannon and the medium pulse lasers and maybe the small. And if you do fire the large laser one turn, fire everything, next turn, shut off the large laser and cool off a lot. And then it's kind of that cycle where heat up, cool off type of deal. But there's that. So that's kind of like how I would look at using the Shootist for heat management in that route. All right. Now, there's a couple other versions of the mech. We got the 8C. All right. This one removes the small laser and upgrades the mediums to a pair of ER medium lasers. All right. So get rid of the medium pulse lasers, and you got ER medium lasers. So that's like 4, and you got a C3I computer. So all hail the word of Blake. And this comes out still a little over 1,500 battle value, which isn't bad for what this mech provides. And if you got a C3 system on board, yeah, this could kind of tear pieces out, because in some cases this might be the mech that actually gets in close as your eyes and ears for all the support mechs. To be honest, it's kind of like you want to get that autocannon into someone's face and start throwing it down range. So that's kind of like how I look at that one. And that's the 8C. It's like upgrading those. To me, that's an upgrade from the inner sphere medium pulse lasers to ER medium lasers. I'd take that any day of the week, personally. But yeah, and then you've got the heat problem. But you're probably not going to be firing the ER large laser when you get in close. You're going to just fire the autocannon and the ER mediums. All right, then we have the 9C. All right, this one modifies the 8C by removing the autocannon and a heatsink to make room for a Gauss rifle. All right, so now you got a Gauss rifle with 2 tons of ammunition, so you can go 16 turns. Comes in at around 1,700 battle value. Obviously, the Gauss rifle is going to make a big difference. So now you got. It's actually not that hot because, obviously the Gauss rifles run cool, and, then with the ER medium lasers, yeah, you can fire those and run like 4 ER medium lasers. I do believe, let me check here just to make sure I'm looking at this correctly. It's got, it doesn't show that one. What version is this? All right, this one has ER large Gauss rifle, 3 medium lasers, not the ER medium lasers, but it still has 13. It's like the program I look at. That's interesting. But if you look at it that way, you'd have 4 ER medium lasers and a 12 double heat sinks and the Gauss rifle. So yeah, you just don't fire the ER large, and you don't have to worry about heat then. Now, when you're shooting at range, obviously you're going to fire the ER large and the Gauss rifle until you get in closer, and the firing solution, depending on your firing solution, if you're going to fire that one or the other. But that's pretty much it. That is, that's the only 2 variants of the mech. Is one that's got a Gauss rifle, one has ER medium lasers. They do have, it's considered a command mech. It's with the 52nd Shadow Division. Yeah, it's like that's the Warder Blake mechs that we've painted up are the 52nd Shadow Division. So, might have to look at that. Like, I think I painted one of these up, most likely. Yeah, I think I did. But my version of the mech, it's like if you take the standard version, yeah, it's like I would upgrade the AC-20 to a Gauss rifle, get rid of the medium pulse lasers, drop those off for 3 medium lasers, and then when the ER medium lasers give it 3 ER medium lasers, a Gauss rifle, small laser. Obviously, that would be how I would look at it. You know, just depends on like obviously what era the ER medium lasers start coming into. I think when they're available for usage, you know, that'd be what I'd look at. But when you got a Word of Blake mech like this with a C3I system, yeah, it does a heck of a job up close or at range. So overall, not a bad mech. It's kind of pretty solid in my opinion. Good either way, depending on what version you take. If it has the AC-20 or the Gauss rifle, it's going to tear something up. If you got the Gauss rifle version, you're going to be doing a lot of damage at range. And if you got a C3I system like going on with all the other different mechs together, it might just hang back at range and stay out of the fray for a while and just punch holes through stuff and then tear it up pretty good. That's the Word of Blake style of fighting. Have the very, very fast moving mechs out front, using and not worrying too much about trying to hit. Their job is to bring everybody into short range if possible, so all your mechs can take advantage of short range while you're there shooting back at you at longer range. And obviously your fast moving mechs most likely are going to have ECM on board if the other opponent has any type of C3 system on board. And it also helps take down Artemis. But overall, that is it. That's the Shootist. I'd say it's a worthwhile mech to try to find and put into your assortment, your stable, just to see what you can do with it. All right, that's it. Hope you guys like it. Like and subscribe, share with your friends, and we'll see you in the next one. Elk Rex out.